All right, Sync Academy members, today is the day that I am opening enrollment for actually up to 40 new syndicate members, okay? You will need to apply for these 40 spots, and I'm very picky about who I allow to join us in the syndicate. Okay, I'm gonna talk about what the syndicate is, what you get as a part of being a member in the syndicate. But before I get into all of that, I want you guys to all be very clear that if you do want to apply and you're interested in joining us, you will need to click on the link below this post. Do not, again, please do not go to the syndicate group here in Sync Academy and request access. In fact, if you do that, I will probably just reject your application, okay? Why? That is not the way to join the syndicate. I have an application process that I've put in the link below. That way I get to know you a little bit better. You also get to know a little bit more about the syndicate and whether or not it's actually going to be a good fit for you. Okay, so there's a whole process here that's been set up. And by simply going to the group and requesting access, you're causing more headaches for me. Okay, so please, I need you to be able to follow very clear directions, very simple directions, and just follow that link below if you want to apply. Okay, it's so important that you're able to follow directions because in the syndicate, when we do our licensing opportunities with our partners, I'm going to be asking you for metadata. I'm going to be asking you to fill out contracts. I'm going to be asking you to email me assets, okay? Your stems and your cut downs for the tracks that I accept from you. If you can't follow very basic instructions, especially right now in just the application process, that indicates to me there's going to be problems down the road. So please just follow the instructions and just go through the process. You'll understand why there's a process there. It'll make a lot of sense, okay? Probably a lot of you guys know about the syndicate, but I will talk a little bit more about what is included in it and essentially what you'd be getting access to if you decided to apply. And if I like your application and I think you're going to be a good fit for us, I would accept you, okay? So it's my inner circle mentorship group. It is the way that if you want to basically get two premium services. Number one, access to paid licensing opportunities. Okay, so we have music libraries, music supervisors, ad agencies. We have a lot of different licensing partners that I've basically gathered through the course of my career, and I essentially open them up to you guys, right? I pass these opportunities along to you. We create new albums pretty much every single month. There's either 1 or 2 albums going on every single month, and that's usually 12 to 24 tracks, sometimes even more. Some of our albums can be 24 tracks themselves, so we can actually get up to 36 tracks a month. So some months are a little bit more busy than others, but usually there's always something happening on a monthly basis in terms of actual licensing opportunities that can only also not only get you paid upfront consideration fees, but can also obviously get you those back-end performance royalties. We've had that one member that got over 257 placements. Now it's actually over 300 placements. I've had members get over $1,000 in upfront sync fees for placements. We've had ones that do $300, $400, $500 opportunities. We've had a lot of success stories and a lot of syndicate members that eventually graduated, moved on from the syndicate because they're now regularly supplying music libraries with their music, right? And the reason why they were able to do that is because the second great feature with the syndicate is that I will give you actually feedback on your music personally, myself, okay? I know that a lot of you here in Sync Academy post your tracks and it's great to get peer feedback, but some of you probably want to get that next level up of feedback from a professional, you know, somebody that's been doing this for 10 years, somebody who knows what works, what doesn't work. And so basically those opportunities are also about once a month where you're going to be able to post any track that you're working on. I will come on camera much like I'm doing right now and I'll actually go through your track and I'll show you throughout your track, here's what's working, here's what's not working. The reason why that's so powerful is because many of you maybe submit to libraries, you don't get any answers or you just get ignored or you get rejected, but they don't really walk you through, right? What was it about your track that didn't get it? Or maybe you've submitted just to a lot of opportunities out there and you're not getting the acceptance letters. And so you really want to know what is it that you need to do to step up your game. Well, when you get professional feedback, and I don't sugarcoat anything. So that's another thing I want to make sure that you're the right fit for us, that you can take professional criticism. I'm not mean, I'm not rude or crude or anything like that. But I'm going to be kind of like a doctor and I'm going to tell you if you've got cancer, I'm going to point out the cancer. If you've got something really not working with your track, I'm going to just tell you about it, okay? So you have to have that sort of professionalism, that sort of mature mentality to be able to handle that kind of criticism. Not all producers have that. I've noticed that actually over the years. So that's why I really want to make sure that I have everybody go through this application process. You guys give me some really good detailed answers. That way I can kind of get a feel for who you are before I accept you into this really private exclusive group. Okay, so that's what that's all about. This page that you're looking at right now, this is essentially the page that you'll go to when you click on that link below. So definitely go through this, read everything that you see here. Watch this video. This is a 4-minute video. It's very brief, but I do explain exactly what the syndicate entails, what we do. You kind of get an idea of what you're getting involved in. Everybody's always asking, like, what's the cost? What's the cost? The cost is $97 a month. You can do it monthly, or you can do an annual plan for $997. That'll actually take your monthly cost down to $83. Or the other way that I look at it is if you do the annual plan, you basically get 2 months free. Okay, so however you want to look at that. So I do reward those that are going to commit for the full 12 months. On this application card, it does say 12 months. Why does it say 12 months? Well, I've designed the syndicate to essentially be something that I think students in 12 months time should be able to get pretty much all the benefits and all the feedback that they're really going to need to get to the next level where they can start branching out, reaching out to libraries, and getting their own relationships. The syndicate is not designed to have you stay with us for the rest of your career. I don't want you guys to get that impression, okay? You can stay longer than 12 months if you feel that you need to. We have some members that have done that. You can cancel anytime you want. So if you feel like after a couple of months you got what you needed, you can move on, okay? So there's no sort of long-term obligation for this. You don't have to commit forever and ever, obviously. I want you to take it for as long as it's going to be valuable and useful for you, okay? So obviously, as I talked about before, we have our TV film licensing opportunities. You get feedbacks on your tracks. There's also exclusive mentorship and video content, including some new interviews that I just recently did that I'll be releasing to the syndicate in the next week or two. We've got a great two actually music supervisors that are going to be great, and then also we have an ad agency professional that has some really good tips for us. So really cool content that is only available to syndicate members. So that stuff is actually coming down the pipeline, and we've had previous interviews like that in the past as well. So there's some really cool stuff that you guys get access to that nobody in Sync Academy will have access to. It's just in the syndicate, okay? Obviously, just like with Sync Academy, you can connect and collaborate, but now you can connect and collaborate with this smaller group of producers and hard work and dedicated people. And you might be able to find that you can, do some co-writing and collaborations and all that good stuff. We've gotten legit placements, really big placements. We've worked for, we've done some Fox Sports stuff, MTV, Lifetime, HTV. You can kind of see all that. Also, what I'm going to be throwing in for all syndicate memberships is my Sync Business Master course. This is actually a $600 course that I usually sell by itself. If you join the syndicate, I want you to be prepared, okay? Because this is my sort of inner circle, mentorship group. I would not be doing you a service if I'm sort of leaving out big parts of how to really succeed in this business. So the Sync Business Master course is really more focused 100% on the business side of things. In Sync Academy, we do have that business section of tutorials, and those are really valuable. You should look into that. But there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to registrations, protecting your music, your royalties, and also just kind of like the do's and don'ts of submitting to like custom jobs, working with people that might not speak the musical language that we speak. So there's kind of some business skills there, some sort of like communication skills that a lot of producers just need to be aware of to be able to succeed, get the gig, and then have those clients coming back, right? We do have this one. This is a really popular and important one. This is Producer Guide to Legal Contracts. So I get a lot of these questions like, Jesse, I don't understand this contract. What does this mean? What does that mean? Well, I've broken every licensing contract into 5 simple segments. Every licensing contract will have these 5 areas. They might be labeled differently and in different parts of the contract. But as long as you understand these 5 things, you're good to go. You're going to understand exactly what you're doing. Of course, if you want to hire a lawyer, I always say go with your gut and hire a lawyer. But I've personally never hired a lawyer in this, over 10 years I've been in this industry. And it's because I sort of had a rough time basically understanding and trying to figure out these legal contracts. But as you get through tons and tons of them, you start to realize they're all kind of the same. They have different terms or whatever, but you should be able to understand them, especially through this course here. So anyways, really good stuff. Of course, you're going to get the digital downloads as a part of that business course. You get the music library directory, submission templates, music blueprint, all that good stuff. If you've already purchased some of these, maybe you've already purchased the directory and all that kind of stuff, all you have to do is email me if you do sign up for the syndicate, and I'll refund you actually. If you've already purchased these kind of digital downloads, I'll refund you what you've already paid for some of these, okay? So don't feel like you have to pay twice for them. But some of you maybe haven't gotten access to these yet, and so this would be a great way for you to get access to some really powerful stuff. As for everything that I do for you guys, 100% guarantee satisfaction. You can cancel anytime. You email me, jesse@syncmymusic.com. 30-day money back. So if you get in, you realize, it's not really for me, I'm not really digging it, money back. You just email me again and I'll give that money back to you. It's no problem. You literally have no risk by signing up and by applying, okay? It doesn't guarantee that everybody who applies gets in. You guys understand that there's only 40 spots and it is first come, first serve. So I would not be waiting, basically. I'm going to take the applications as they come in. So if you're even halfway interested in this, I would just apply and then you can decline later if you want to, but definitely get the acceptance letter as soon as you can. That way you can make that choice, because as soon as those 40 spots are gone, which I don't know when it's going to be, it could be today, it could be tomorrow. I'm basically planning that this week, basically Monday through Friday, I will have those 40 spots completely done. So I would not be waiting for that. You can check out some of my testimonials, former and current syndicate members. You can see that it's the real deal. Definitely watch this video. This is a great video from a former member, Greg. He just had some really good words of wisdom about really the mindset that it's going to take to succeed in the syndicate, and why it's really not for the faint of heart, and it's not for somebody that's expecting their career to be handed to them. Okay, so if you kind of want to know what sort of answers you should be including in your application before you apply, watch that video, and of course just read all this stuff and make sure you understand what we're doing. You know, the best tip that I can give you guys in terms of the application process is be thorough. Okay, there are some questions on there where it's not just a yes or no. You can actually list a couple of sentences. I would put a couple of sentences down. Let me know a little bit about who you are. I'm not looking for somebody who thinks I'm going to hand them a career, that I'm going to hand them success. If that's what you think, don't even apply. You'll get rejected. Okay, I'm looking for somebody who understands, first of all, you're committed to sync licensing. You understand that this is the right business for you. It's almost 100% of your focus. Okay, it needs to be close to 100%. You might have some other things you're dabbling with, but this needs to be a primary focus for you in your music career. I want to mentor those people that really believe in this business, believe that this can work for them. Okay. And then you also need to know that this is going to be a long-term play for you, that you're not expecting to have some placement in a month and then have full-time income, that you understand it's going to take time. And you might understand that you have to go through a lot of rejections for the licensing opportunities that we do. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned that, but even in all of our licensing opportunities, you will get feedback. Unlike most other opportunities you've ever submitted to, usually you just get a rejection or somebody ignores you. But here you're actually going to get feedback on what your track didn't have, right? So that you can make that change and make your tracks better moving forward into future opportunities. So eventually you can start getting accepted. And by the way, a lot of producers in the syndicate who are regularly submitting to our opportunities and get these upfront consideration fees, their memberships are paid for. And in fact, a lot of them are actually making money. They're profiting actually being in the syndicate. So not only are their membership fees paid for, but they're actually making above and beyond what they're paying for their either annual or monthly dues. So, but that only happens if you're actually participating, right? You got to submit to the opportunities. It's like college, it's like school. If you're just kind of showing up, doing the bare minimum, you know, not really being active, you won't get anything out of this. So that's another thing I'm looking for in your application. Are you actually going to be an active member? Are you actually going to contribute and participate in our licensing opportunities, our open reviews, all that kind of stuff, okay? The other thing I was going to say, so for the $97 a month, another question people have been asking me, that is not on top of your Sync Academy fee, okay? That is actually going to just replace your Sync Academy fee. So whatever you're paying for your Sync Academy membership right now, we would just cancel that. You would no longer be paying that fee, and we would just swap it out for the $97. So now the $97 includes Sync Academy and the syndicate. Okay, so it's not on top of what you're already paying. So I just want to make sure that that's clear, that if you do apply and I do accept your application, that will be the process. And you say, yes, I want to do it. We're basically just going to cancel your other membership fee, either if it's monthly, annual, whatever you've done, we'll work that out. And then we're just going to swap in this new one so that you can have access to that. Again, in a month or 2, 3 months, whatever you decide, you know what, I don't really want to do this anymore. I kind of want to just go back to the Sync Academy. Just email me and we'll take care of that. We'll just swap you right back to the old rate that you had before. Okay, so it's very easy. No problems at all. Again, read all of this, watch all of this, make sure you understand what you're getting involved with. When you're ready, you do click this red button to apply. And it's going to take you to the process where you can actually start your application. So if you're accepted, here's the important part I want you to know before you do this. If you're accepted, you will receive an acceptance email within 48 hours. So I will get back to you within 2 days once you've put this in. Okay, that's pretty much mostly what I'm doing this week, is just going through probably hundreds of applications and really trying to pick the best ones that I feel are the most appropriate. If you're not accepted, I will not be sending you a notice or an email and telling you why you weren't accepted or anything like that. Okay, I'm going to have too many applications. I'm sorry, I can't provide that. So what I would say is just make sure you take your time with your application. You only get one shot at it, okay? So if I don't accept you, don't try it again and flood the system, okay? Just be, let's all be adults about this, basically. You take a shot, you put your best application in, you take your time, give the best answers you possibly can. Let me know as much about you as you think is really relevant to me understanding whether or not I think you're gonna be a good fit for us and that you're gonna work hard and you're gonna stick to your goals of making music licensing your full-time job. If that is who you are and that's what I get from your application, I'm fairly certain that I will accept you into the group, and then at that point you got to act, okay? Because even if I accept you, but then you sort of wait 4 days and you're like, well, I'm not really sure, I might fill those 40 spots in that time that you're waiting. So if you get that acceptance email from me and you're interested, just jump in. You literally have nothing to risk. Again, 30-day money back guarantee. You can cancel anytime you want. So just say yes in the beginning, and then if you decide later on it's not really quite the right fit for you, you can say no. But I definitely would not be waiting or hesitating on any of this kind of stuff, because as you guys know, I haven't opened the application process since January. So it's been 3.5 months now. Nobody's got in, and I'm only opening it up basically for these 5 days. And once these 5 days are up, I don't know when I will open this up again. It kind of depends on when some people leave and we have some more open spots. So this is going to be a pretty rare opportunity for some of you that want to get basically your foot in the door, right? You want to get those first couple of placements. You can kind of get maybe, hopefully like that one member, 257 placements off of one track. Pretty awesome, right? Actually 300 now. Get some upfront opportunities, upfront sync fees, upfront consideration fees, actually start making some money, and get some real world basically mentorship and advice from somebody who's currently working in the industry. I still work in the business very actively, and I know what works, I know what doesn't work, and you can get some really valuable feedback on your music, on the music that you're actually making. So most syndicate members, and probably maybe some of them will comment below on this video about their experience in the syndicate and what it's done for their career. I know a lot of them, it's really lit a fire under their butt to make sure that they're going 100% in this business. And sometimes being a member of a group like this absolutely does that for you. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions about anything, post it below in this box or in this post, and I can get back to you. Right now, maybe you're wondering, well, what are you guys working on now? Right now we have 2 opportunities. One is a retro 1950s rock and roll album. We're almost done with that. I think we have 10 tracks accepted, so there's only going to be a couple of spots left for that. And then we have another one that's actually a Christmas album, and that one I don't think we filled up much of it yet, so there's going to be a lot of spots on there. And then moving forward in the next couple of weeks, we will do an open review. Those are the ones where I basically allow anybody to post one track that they're working on, and I go up and give you guys the feedback on video, as I explained before. And then we're going to have some new albums that basically come down the pipeline after that, including some really cool new interviews, some really great content that'll be exclusively released just to syndicate members. So that's all coming basically in the next couple of weeks. So a lot of cool stuff. Do not wait. Don't sit on this stuff. Go ahead and click on that link below to apply if you guys are interested.